Let me tell you the story of the Dutch financial bubble, which was called Tulip Mania. When tulips came to Europe in the 16th century, they quickly became popular, especially among wealthy citizens and nobles. Over time, the reputation grew so much that every wealthy citizen considered it necessary to have a certain collection of these flowers. Later, these flowers became so popular that even merchants and shopkeepers also competed with each other to collect the largest collection and were willing to pay crazy money for these flowers. At the time, the Netherlands, which had recently gained independence, was at the beginning of its economic boom, which will be called the Dutch Golden Age. And the enterprising Dutch immediately saw incredible opportunities in this flower. Initially, the Dutch East India Company imported these flowers from Asia. Later, the Dutch realized that it was much more profitable to grow these flowers in their own country and then sell the goods at inflated prices. Interest was also fueled by the fact that wealthy European flower connoisseurs were willing to pay generously for new exclusive varieties. Varieties with multicolored effects and intricate lines were especially appreciated. It later became known that the effect itself was achieved by infecting the bulb with the tulip mosaic virus. And to emphasize their high status, new varieties were even given appropriate names, such as Admiral or General. Then the names became even more extravagant, from Alexander the Great to Scipio Africanus. Therefore, the cultivation of these rare varieties became a fixed idea for Dutch breeders, because if successful, they could become fabulously rich. Since it was very difficult to breed a new variety, this led to an increase in demand, and as a result, to an increase in the price of tulip bulbs of already created exclusive varieties. Initially, only professional gardeners participated in the bulb trade. Since the price of these bulbs was constantly increasing, later bulb speculators joined the trade, who bought bulbs from some and resold them to others. And this created even more excitement and a further increase in prices. Only from January to May 1636, one bulb of the Gouda variety rose from 2.1 to 3.5 guilders. When rumors about the extremely high profitability of the bulb trade became known to the general public, almost every Dutchman wanted to make money on it. Financial innovations also played a significant role in inflating the bubble. The sale of contracts for the supply of bulbs in the future, which can be called the first futures contracts. The emergence of these contracts was due to the peculiarities of growing bulbs. Usually in the Netherlands, a flower is planted in October, and only in April-May of the following year it blooms. Then the old bulb dies, and in its place 3-4 new bulbs are formed, which are dug up and replanted in October. Therefore, it was in the period from June to September that the bulb could change owner immediately through spot transactions, and in all other months only through futures contracts. If in the early stages such transactions were concluded only by professional participants, then later the wide interest from society led to the emergence of spontaneous folk trades in every corner of the Netherlands. By 1637, the mania had so captured Dutch society that a significant part of the country's population quit their previous jobs or crafts and began to trade tulips. Nobles, burghers, farmers, artisans, sailors, even footmen and servants were engaged in tulips. And they were all guided by a rather primitive logic: buy cheaper and sell more expensive. Because if the price has increased in the past, it will definitely increase in the future. Since the demand for tulip bulbs significantly exceeded the supply, this led to a rapid increase in price. As the price rose, it became necessary to trade bulbs by weight. A tulip of the Admiral Lifken variety cost 4,000 florins. An Admiral van der Eyck cost 1,000 florins. And the price of the most expensive variety, Semper Augustus, started at 5,000 florins. For comparison, 8 fattened pigs cost 240 florins at that time, and 1,000 pounds of cheese cost 120 florins. The bubble burst in early 1637. The more the price rose, the fewer people wanted to buy onions. And for a while, there were no more people willing to buy contracts at such prices. Some did not want to out of caution, and some simply did not have enough money. After several large auctions were canceled because no one came to them, panic began in the market. The owners of the contracts, realizing that no one wanted to buy anymore, wanted to get rid of them as soon as possible. Wanting to get back at least some of the invested funds, they were ready to sell the contracts at a certain discount. And the more people wanted to sell, the greater the discount the contracts were sold at. Of course, this led to a rapid collapse in prices. Many lost almost all of their fortunes and savings, although even these were not enough to fulfill their obligations under the contracts. Therefore, Defaults by debtors on their obligations became very common. Dutch society, previously renowned for its exemplary business ethics, faced a serious crisis of confidence.